Do
pod.
they use humans for wet nurses?
Oh, is that why they're abducting? Because they dried up and they
Maybe
don't know what
that's
to do?
why. Yeah, who knows?
Oh, no, I don't want to think about a bunch of
Oh, and they
boobs
take
hooked up.
cows. They take cows too, so there you go.
They do take cows. They're like, you know what? This cow's milk shit is for the birds. Let's try those
Yeah,
humans and see if their
try
boobs
those
work
humans.
better. Hey, it
Our
worked.
babies are shitting everywhere from that cow's milk. Let's
But
try
not
humans.
the but not the lizard aliens, because obviously, well,
Oh, yeah, they can't have milk. That
they
wouldn't be
don't have
good.
milk.
Although there are statues of lizard women breastfeeding lizard babies.
Oh,
Ancient, there's ancient statues of lizard
get the
women
fuck out of
breastfeeding.
here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Grandma's Not Right.
Grandma's not right.
Nope, Grandma's not
Nope.
right.
Never. Never.
Never. Well, on occasion. On occasion. Today's subject we're definitely right about.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of experts after all.
Kind of. Well, you are the expert because you wrote a book on it. So,
Well, I'm two kids up on you too, so there's that.
and see, yes, I concur.
Yes. So, um, yeah. Well, it's been an interesting week.
Let me
It's
hear
been
about your
a
week.
couple weeks, but well, I mean it in general, news wise and other,
Oh,
but just yeah.
well, at this point, when is it? Like, there's some shit happening every week in our country right now, and
Did what did you? Well, okay, we're not going to get into this today, but it's
no, no,
definitely
no.
going to be in a future
Yeah, we
podcast.
need to just do one political podcast so people can go,
Right.
nah, no thanks, that's fine.
Well, all I want to say is the lame ass UFO disclosure.
I know. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast about that because, to be honest, I didn't. I just look at stuff on Apple News every morning, and I don't have time. I don't always sit through and listen to everything. So I get the information on certain podcasts I listen to. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it was about. And
Yeah.
Mark Agee and Trey Crowder really had a good perspective on it about. Well, I think they're non-believers. Like we're like
Hold on, I
Fox
messed
Mulder.
up.
I want to believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And
Exactly.
so they're a little
And
more Debbie Downer about it, like, I don't think they believe, which is fine. So their perspective was, now you're trying to get these aged guys that were told, that all this stuff was happening with UFOs and it was a lie, and they believed it because no one ever told them that it was true. So they went into their old age believing that they were actually working on UFO technology when really they weren't. That's what I got from it. I don't know if there's more to it. That's all that I got from that particular podcast.
well, I think it's because of the depth that I've gone into with this.
Yeah.
I there are things that are there's no way you can explain away, and there are people that have seen things and have done, lie detector tests have been scrutinized that are top military people that would never jeopardize their career or their family's safety to come out with a lie. And some of the stories that they tell, um, people are saying, well, maybe they're purposely coming out to distract us or to make us believe that it's true, but it's really not, and they're like plants, they're like agents that are
Right.
that are.
Yeah, I heard. Okay. Yeah, I did hear that too.
So there's all those kinds of. From everything that I have researched, everything I've watched, and you know how long I've been involved in this.
Yeah,
Practically
we've
my
talked about it
entire
at
life.
length for
So
years.
yeah, and it's there are times I go through feeling like it's all baloney. I get disappointed and I think it's all baloney. But then there are things that come along that I'm like, oh well, I don't know how to explain that one. So
Yeah.
but the point is that what they released, some of it is interesting and hard to figure out what it could be, if not an alien ship or some kind of
or just
non-human
some kind of
biological.
or some kind of like swamp gas. It's some kind of earthly phenomenon, like the aurora borealis. It's a
Sure.
phenomenon. Okay, I can get on board with some of
Yeah.
that, but
Plasma discharge bubbles,
yeah.
from uh, earthquake, or well, it's plate, it's tectonics. It's like rocks rubbing together, and then there's plasma gas, and anyway.
Mm,
So there are things like that. I know that there are those things out there. I know that
yeah.
there are, in some areas there are quick little lightning balls that people mistake. So it's not that I'm saying all of it is UFOs. What I'm saying though is that what they released, most of it was explainable things that they just wanted to satisfy the public that was demanding that he follow through with his promise.
Right, right, right.
So these were things that had no top secret significance, that just happened to be in the files, and they just let them come out. I mean, that's how I see it, and a lot of people see it too, because that is not even close to the things that they really have in their possession. So
Well,
anyway, that's all I wanted to say was it's been interesting to watch people's reaction to the disclosure,
well,
and
and that's what I'm saying. Like with this that podcast I listened to, that on the one hand, for me, it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure most intelligent people that feel the same way we do, whether or not you believe in UFOs, have been here. You can't dispute that we're not the only ones. What? How could we be the only
yeah,
ones in this whole galaxy or universe? Come on, that's.
yeah.
I just feel like that's
Well,
asinine thinking, in my
yeah.
opinion. And I know a lot of religious people believe that, and other people believe that. Okay, but the second thing is, like they were saying, that these guys that are old and senile, and they believe, they were told by higher ups, even that to them, that they're at Area 51 working on secret UFO technology, when actually they were working on stealth kind of stuff that we didn't want people to know about. And so
Hmm.
they told them, and then they never untold them, they never debriefed them. And so they went the rest of their lives keeping the secret, believing they worked on UFO stuff when in reality they didn't. It's like, okay, I get what you're saying, and I could
Hmm.
get on board with that. That's a logical explanation, whatever. I'm always for it. Let's look at the easiest, simplest answers or something. But like you
Right.
said, I just, when there's more, they say, like with the moon landing, no one could keep that secret for years, and fake the moon
Hmm.
landing. How many people do you really think? There are people that can't even keep secrets for less than that. And that was a pretty big secret. So
Yeah.
this is kind of the reverse, where really there's so many people coming out saying this stuff. So it doesn't apply there, that only people could keep secrets or not keep secrets.
Yeah.
The people have stories, but that's, it doesn't matter if there's a bunch of people have stories, it's still fake. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you can't have it
I know.
both ways, man. You
No.
can't.
And and a lot of the people that have been coming forward, they're not all old guys, by the way. There are some that have been involved and have witnessed things and have reported things and have been involved in craft retrieval and all of that, that are young. They're younger than us, you know. And the couple of old guys are like my age or your age, and they, like the one person, he is an absolute genius, and Bob Lazar, his story has been proven to be true over and over and over again.
Right,
So,
right, right.
but a lot of people, it's like, that it's just too fantastic. It's just too, so whatever. We have to definitely do a podcast about this
Me
subject,
too, because I
because
can.
my son Jason, he's 32, as some of you know, with severe autism, and he is happy back in the living room around the corner from me right now. And he's free to come in here if he wants, but if you hear weird noises, you hear somebody yelling, you hear somebody laughing hysterically, that's who it is. He's not in any kind of duress. That's his happy noises, or his, I am going to mess with you as much as I can because you're doing something fun without me.
Yeah.
It's not
But he
anything else
also,
other than that.
yeah, fun without you, but he also doesn't want to participate.
No, he doesn't want to sit here and watch or be a part of it,
He
but he
just
doesn't want
doesn't
me
want you to do.
to enjoy it. He wants me to sit quietly next to him while he watches TV. That's what he
Again,
wants.
Again, he's a 1950s husband. That's what he is. With an Oedipus complex.
Oh
Oh,
no.
ew. I'm
No.
just kidding. I
Do
think that's
aliens have
wise.
breasts? Do aliens
Do they
breastfeed?
do they breastfeed? Do
Do
they have wet
aliens
nurses? Is
breastfeed?
there like one wet nurse alien for the
Or
for the
do
pod?
they use humans for wet nurses?
Oh, is that why they're abducting? Because they dried up and they
Maybe
don't know what
that's
to do?
why. Yeah, who knows?
Oh no, I don't want to think about a bunch of
Oh, and they
boobs
take
hooked up.
cows. They take cows too, so there you go.
They do take cows. They're like, you know what? This cow's milk shit is for the birds. Let's try those
Yeah,
humans and see if their
try
boobs
those
work
humans.
better. Hey, it
Our
worked.
babies are shitting everywhere from that cow's milk. Let's
But
try
not
humans.
the but not the lizard aliens, because obviously
Oh,
millions
they can't have milk. That
they
wouldn't be
don't have
good.
milk.
Although there are statues of lizard women breastfeeding lizard babies.
Oh, God.
Ancient, there's ancient statues of lizard
Get the
women
fuck out of
breastfeeding
here.
ancient babies.
No, they're not. Really?
Yes, there are.
How do I not
I'm
know
gonna
about
go
this?
find one to show you. Hold
Please
on.
do.
I'm gonna
Oh
pop
my
one up.
God. Okay, that's great, man. See now, and that's the thing, like, you watch all these different movies, whether it's Independence Day, War of the Worlds, Signs, everybody's got a different interpretation from the movies we've watched about, but you know what? I don't laugh about it because, again, someday something's going to happen. Everybody's going to be shocked. And then there'll be the people
Right.
that go, I told you, motherfuckers. I told you. I don't know. Like, I gotta get a shirt that has that I want to believe. I really need to have that. So that's one of my mottos. I mean, that even goes with,
I don't know if I
huh?
can
Oh, you
find
got
it or
it?
not. Let's see.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave that up for us.
Okay.
Okay, so that we can show that, and then we'll tie that in with the UFO thing. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I watched this. I've been watching some strange podcasts lately,
Okay.
and one of the podcasts recently, it was showing different artifacts that have been found, and they were talking about how, okay, you've got you've got carvings of humans that are ancient little statues
Yeah.
that might have been little, uh, like, for worshiping or whatever, I don't know, or they might have been toys for kids, who knows, but little hand carved statues, right? Handmade, ancient. They're finding these like deep down in different areas. Well, there's one that keeps popping up that is a lizard looking person breastfeeding a lizard baby. And they're like, if these people are carving human people, why would they carve a lizard person breastfeeding a lizard baby? You don't see lizards breastfeeding their babies in in nature.
And that was so long ago. Like, what was,
And
okay.
what they know what reptiles do,
Yeah.
and they
Okay.
know how to copy a image of something because they have
Yeah.
other images of things, right?
Okay.
So what is that about? You want me to show you?
Well, yeah, I want to see it.
You want to see it? Let me show
I
you.
do want to see
You know
it.
what I'm talking about. Okay, let me
Okay.
open up.
Yeah, no, while you're doing that, though, I will be devil's advocate and say, just like we have art, in our world right now, currently, unicorns do not exist, and they haven't as long as we've known. But we have My Little Pony, and we have the like unicorn kind of stuff where they're
Yeah.
anamorphic animals doing it. So if I was going to be playing the other side, I'd say, well, maybe even then they appreciated some kind of parody, or what would it be like if a lizard did the things that we did? Or I could even get behind that, but why aren't there other creatures? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, so you see that? Now that's not a great angle, but can you see it?
I could see it. Yeah. It's small for me. It looks like a
And,
thumbnail in a sense, but I can see it because I'm on my phone, remember? But yeah,
okay.
no, I could see it.
And the
Dude, I'll
baby
check that
has
out
like
later
this
though.
weird shaped.
Come on.
I mean, they both look like reptiles, and there's better pictures than that, but I just wanted to show you that one.
Those
So
squared off shoulders. Yeah.
okay, there we go. So let me
Wow.
get that one out of the way here.
I
So
mean, who
yeah,
knows? Who knows why they
anyway,
did that stuff? But still, that well, that's why we love that show Aliens so much, because they
yeah.
take things like that and talk about all the possibilities. And of course, everybody wants to think you're a nut job, like you believe it verbatim. It's like, look, man,
No, I
you
want to
believe
listen
no, but
to the explanations. I'm
I know,
interested
but
in what kind of culture would produce that
right.
and why. You
Okay.
know, that's all.
If an atheist, here's the thing: if an atheist wants to make fun of us for possibly believing in all this kind of shit, then I could say, all right, I could see your skepticism, and I can, namaste. I appreciate it. But if a Christian or any other religion in the world laughs about it and says you guys are crazy, I want to go. You believe in some crazy ass shit yourself from a Bible, and like there. I mean, I'm not going to say there's no artifacts that prove right or wrong. We know there are things they have found that show a lot of their stories in the Bible, whatever, have a lot of things seem to
There's a
add
lot
up.
of
Okay,
historical significance
yeah,
to the stories. Yeah, for
right.
sure.
So that's okay, but it's just the point that, like, we've talked about this before tons of other times, but I'll say it again. Every religion that has something that's a little extreme points to another religion and says, "What a bunch of whack jobs!" I'm like, are you looking at your own stories of the crazy,
We all
miraculous shit?
yeah. I yeah. No
So,
finger
in other words,
pointing
yeah,
on here because
again,
I believe in some weird shit that people
right.
can't even wrap their heads around. So
But that's what I'm saying is like, what I think it's just funny that the go to for people are, oh, those alien nut jobs, and they want to
weirdos.
so bad discredit people, and it's
Yeah.
such a hot button to make fun.
Speaking of breastfeeding, which is supposed to be
Speak,
the subject today,
speaking of breastfeeding,
I may not be a lizard woman,
you're
but
not a lizard
I know
woman.
something about breastfeeding.
You sure do.
I do. Our whole family does. Our family was a bunch of milk cows, both
Yeah, I
sides.
think I think I had kind of briefly discussed the last podcast, talking about our this future one that.
Or
Okay.
we are
Yes.
not. This whole podcast is going to be about the challenges of those who can or choose to breastfeed. It's not.
Yes.
It's not putting down anyone who can't or who has never experienced it or has decided not to or whatever the case is.
Of course.
This is
Yes.
simply our experience in the world of people who don't understand it and our take on what it means to us,
Yeah.
and how someone's reaction says a lot about who they are, you know.
Right. Wait a
So
minute.
that's what this is about. So if you're someone who cannot or chose not to breastfeed, listen for the funny parts or for the parts that are,
Yeah.
educational, but don't feel insulted. This isn't
Not at
about
all.
judging anyone for not doing it. Is that good?
Yeah,
Is that where
that's
you were
good.
going?
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is, isn't that part of the title of your book where it says only mom knows best?
Yes, that wasn't the original title. I changed that because a couple of people mentioned that it was really it was a book that they wanted to read, but it made them feel bad that they weren't breastfeeding because it
Oh,
made it
right,
sound like
right.
that's the only way to be good to your child.
Oh, no.
And I
See, and
didn't
that's
want it
exactly
to
what
come
we're
off
trying to
that.
avoid.
It was more about the attitude of society about breastfeeding that I was writing
Right,
about. But it was
right.
offensive to certain people. So I wanted
Yes.
to make it less offensive and still get my point across, which is the reason some people have issues with breastfeeding, men, is because of how they view the female body.
Right, right,
And so that was kind of where that started. That came along with Eve's Crossing and all the other stuff I was writing
right.
about.
Okay, okay. Shh.
What?
Very cool.
When I'm done. Come over here
Is
and
he,
ask me.
Is he asking for a Diet Coke?
Yes. I told him
Ah,
when I'm done that he can have one. Come down here. Come down here.
Jason,
Come down.
come
Come down
say
here.
hi, Jason.
Tell me,
Come
what do
say
you
hi.
want?
Hi,
Come all the way down here. What do you want?
Jason.
I,
Hi. What do you
I,
want?
I want a Coke, please.
He wants a Diet Coke. All right. You let me do this, and when I'm done, I will get you one. Okay? All right. Good. All right. So you just wait till I'm done. You go watch TV, and when I'm done, I'll bring you one. Okay? I gotta bribe him.
It'll never not be funny. I mean,
Anyway, okay, so yeah,
yes,
I want to open this up with I mean, not only was it just we grew up, it was just a natural thing. I mean, you didn't necessarily because you were the youngest child, so you didn't grow up necessarily seeing relatives, grandparents, parents,
no,
aunts
not. I don't
doing
even
it.
remember cousins doing that.
Yeah. But I did. I mean, I grew up with around all that, and I
Yeah,
watched mom with you and
yeah,
with my brothers. So our
yeah,
brothers, so for me, it was, you know, it was just no big deal, and I never thought twice about it. But
yeah.
I had the two my two spouses who my children are their
Yes,
biological fathers.
yes.
One could care less because he grew up with it being pretty natural in his family. It wasn't a big deal to him. He didn't care. In fact, as long as he didn't have to do much, he was happy. So
Yes.
didn't matter. The other one called it an unfair monopoly on the bonding process.
Wow. Yeah, I remember. I think I remember that. Didn't he want to get those over the shoulder boobs that he could feed him?
No, I threatened that, but he seriously said that, it wasn't fair because I was getting more time with the
Oh,
babies and that there shouldn't be any reason that that we can't just bottle feed them so that we can both have turns. I was like, okay. Anyway, so that was interesting. And the fact that, well, my mom and my sister didn't do that with their babies and they're just fine. So why do you have
oh
to?
yeah. Hmm.
You're going to question my choice to breastfeed? Really? Who the hell do you think you are?
Well, okay.
So,
Well, I could say a lot about the personalities of those two people, but I won't.
yeah.
You
Well,
turned out just fine.
I feel
Yeah.
like I did. My daughters
No,
turned
not
out
you.
great.
Not you. I'm saying the people who criticize that they didn't get breastfed, we
Oh,
turned out just fine. You
oh,
get
I
where I'm
get
going?
you. I get where you're going.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. No, and I don't mean it that way. I'm just joking. But, you know, that whole thing, I think it was around that time when they started having the men that had the little over the because that was about that time, I'm sure, in media,
Yeah,
in movies that they had the little
trying
boobs for guys to breastfeed their
right.
babies.
Trying to get their and I I don't have a problem with that. I
I
appreciate
don't
all of that.
either. Of
But
course.
it's just that you've got to take the bad with the good. So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean just when it's convenient for you and you get home for work or whatever and you just suddenly want to have some attention versus changing the diaper,
Oh yeah.
being up all night with the baby when they're crying, trying to help them settle their stomach when they've got a stomach ache.
Because
It's
that's
like
woman's
there's more
work.
to it. If there's more to it. So anyway, whatever. But
Uh,
that was kind of my experience as far as that goes. And I mean, we could get into the mechanics and all of that, but I just am interested in talking a lot more about the attitude of society
yeah. Because it's
in our
still,
country. Anyway,
well, yeah, because you wrote that book in the 90s, right?
yeah,
And that book is still, I would still be some of the stuff we talk
it's still
about.
relevant
People still,
for sure.
yeah. So that's why, and it shouldn't be. Like your book should be archaic and it should be, oh, I wrote this book and now it's not that way. But
Isn't it
unfortunately,
wonderful? It
no, it
hasn't
is.
changed. It has
Yeah.
not changed, not really. I mean, some states have enacted laws, like in California, I know, specifically aimed at protecting mothers who want to breastfeed in public or wherever.
Yeah.
So you can't deny them, and that's why all of the mothers rooms have popped up in department stores. That's what it's for. So that, it's like you either have to allow them to sit on a bench and do it, or you have to provide a bathroom for them. You can't just, expect them. And here's
not a bathroom, a lounge.
A lounge.
Should not be a bathroom. No toilets should be in the same room.
Let me show you this one. Let's see, let me share again. I want to show you this one. I'm sure you'll remember this one. And this one is in the book. It's a better version of it, but it's in the book. Do you remember that one? Can you see it?
I can't read it, sorry. I can see it, but I can't read the talk bubble.
I don't think I can make it bigger.
That's okay.
I don't think it'll
Again,
go bigger.
I'm on my phone, which sucks. Someday I'll actually get on a computer.
Well, it's the guy leaning out of his truck with a cigarette, looking at the mom sitting in her car nursing the baby, and he's saying, "So they won't let you do that inside either, huh?"
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I want to tell you.
Remember that.
I want to tell you where that came from, and the reason I happen to show it. Whoops, that's the next one. No breastfeeding on the beach. So you've got a woman holding her baby in the carrier. There's a sign that says no breastfeeding on the beach. Are you seeing that?
No, it's not on the screen.
It's not? Oh, okay.
Nope.
Because I have to make it share that one, I guess. All right, well.
Oh, you tried to scroll to the next one.
Yeah, I'll finish talking about the first one.
Okay.
So where that one came from was when I first had, I had my first two. And then my second marriage, I had my third daughter.
Yes.
And we went to visit family in Arizona. And my third daughter was like 3 months old, maybe. Baby, right? So, she was still breastfeeding, obviously, 3 months old. And so we all went, my two older daughters, they were probably, 7 and 9, something like that. Anyway, we went to this restaurant on the way. And it was just one of your typical little, like a Denny's kind of cafe, road cafe, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I just remember we were in the restaurant, and everybody in there is smoking because it was before really the non-smoking went everywhere.
Yeah, because this is in 92.
Arizona. Yeah, and so everyone was smoking, and we're getting in there to sit down, and she starts crying because she's hungry. So everybody's sitting around. We're gonna order, and I just go ahead and put a thing over me and start feeding her. You can't see me. There's nothing showing, but you know what I'm doing,
Right.
And I remember both of the older girls going, "Mom, why are you doing that right now?" You know? And her dad is like, "You're going to do that here right now?" I said, "Well, what am I supposed to do? She's hungry. You want me to go sit in the car while you all eat?" And then all these people are turning around looking at me. And the waitress came up and gave me a dirty look. And I said out loud, "So it's okay for everyone to smoke and blow smoke in my face while I eat, but I can't feed my newborn child? That it disturbs you so much?"
Nice.
I said, "Too bad." And we just went on, and everybody was like,
I swear there was something too about you saying, should I go, or something about being in the bathroom, the smell of toilets, or something. I don't know. I thought there was
I
something
probably
about
did. I can't remember everything I said. I just remember I let out this whole long speech to the whole restaurant.
They were even more embarrassed.
and then, the girls were just dying, and he was like, "Shh, stop, shh," like, "Don't shush me."
Don't you fucking shush me, bitch.
Shush me. Anyway, do you have any stories? I know a story that I hope you're going to tell. It's so funny.
Oh God, it's so disgusting. Yeah, I'll tell that story. But as far as like, I don't remember any offensive story. I just remember that, my first was born in June and it was hot as shit, man. So, and we didn't, I'm sure, I don't think we had air conditioning in our first car. And we we took her everywhere. I wouldn't do that now, but we took her everywhere in that whole summer. But I put a blanket over and her little. I remember she had beads of sweat on her face, and now looking back, I'm all those kids that had to suffer under a fucking blanket because
Yeah.
society didn't want to see it, and those
Right.
kids are sweating. Who
Right.
wants to sweat? I and that's what we kind of talked about. I remember we had this discussion. Maybe the bathroom came up because maybe I said, so what, should people go in the bathroom to feed them where
Right.
it smells like a toilet? Or um so would you go eat in the toilet? Would you go set up a table and eat next to a toilet? So it's okay
Right.
for your baby? Oh, they're just a
Right.
baby. Okay, but the mother's uncomfortable sitting in a toilet area. Or would you put a blanket over your head to eat
To
your
eat.
in the hot weather to eat? Like, because it's a baby's more delicate. So what the fuck
Yeah.
does that even mean? How do you compare those two? So that I don't remember having. I will tell you one thing though about in-laws. And my first in-laws will obviously never see this, so I don't give a shit. And I'm not, again, it was a different culture, and I'm not trying to say it was because of the culture. When I say culture, yes, they were a different race than me, but they also were. I was from Ukaipa, they were from Riverside, and originally from New York. So that in and of itself are different
That's a
cultures.
different culture right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and their race was different, and that's okay. But I do remember, and it was uh, my first husband was after 12 years old, was raised by his aunt, not an aunt and uncle, not his parent. So I remember the whole breastfeeding thing came up, and like I didn't do it with any of my kids. Like I didn't do that, and I think I don't want. I'm
Yeah.
paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of like I just couldn't do it. It was like it was like ew, like it wasn't. That's the impression I got. I just remember that. I'll never forget that I know that was what the impression was, that it wasn't that it was difficult, it wasn't that she didn't have milk, it wasn't just that she was a working mom, it was that she physically
It
was
was the
turned off by doing it.
it was the
Like
ick
it was
factor.
like it was
The
an ick factor, which by the way, I won't say anything because it's not my place to say, but from what I've heard about their experiences, I wouldn't be shocked by that. But anyway, so that was my first kind of impression, like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, somebody doesn't like that because it's icky. And I thought that's weird because
But-
my only other experience was you, because I was 14 when your first child was
Yeah.
born. So I already saw it and it was natural. Like you would, in fact, I remember you would feed her when you would visit mom, you would feed her. And I was so excited about being an aunt, man. I was just gaga over it, which probably was not good in the future for me having my own, because according to mom recently, she told me I was like, oh, I can't wait to have a baby with my
Yeah.
first, and I was like, I don't remember that. I remember just not taking the pill. And she's like, yeah, no, you were talking about having a baby with him. I'm like, oh, I must have shut that out. But anyway, you would feed her, and then I would sit in the rocking chair and rock her to sleep and sing. I would sing, of course, her to sleep. And it really was a good practice for me because even though I obviously didn't breastfeed, but I saw you do it. And then I got to rock her to sleep while you were talking to mom. And so, we passed those things down to each other, like I may not have experienced it like you said you experienced it with aunts or cousins or whatever. I just saw you, and I had a really good mentor, obviously, and so that really helps. But as far as other experiences, I know the one you want to hear about. Okay, this could go on a short. Did you put the fear of God into him? Just kidding.
I set a timer for 40 minutes and he has to be quiet if he wants a Coke.
Where is he right now?
Sitting in front of me on the bed. in the
Oh,
office.
Jason, you better watch that timer, buddy.
So that's how long you have to wait. Okay? All right.
Okay, so I think, let's see, so it was after my son was born, and I was still breastfeeding him, so I would have been 91. Yeah, because I had split up with his father, the kid's father. I was living in a little house by myself, but I was dating someone. Let's just not talk about that. But
Okay.
I remember clear, and let me also preface this with I listened to Mark and Brian religiously. If anybody doesn't know who Mark and Brian, they were DJs of KLOS in Southern California, 95.5. They had a morning show, Mark and Brian, and everyone local who were of that mind kind of knew who they were. So they'd have, wacky things, like a radio show call in or whatever. So I am sitting on the couch. I just had a shower and I was wearing a robe. And I just remember falling asleep on the couch. I had my robe on, but it probably wasn't like tied really tight. It was just me in my own little house. And the kids were probably taking a nap or something because I know I fell asleep. And my daughter would have been uh, 2.5. And he was coming up on his 1 year or something like that. So I'm sitting there, fall asleep, and I know because I remember I had a towel still around my head, robe on, I'm on the couch. And I wake up to the cat trying to suckle my teat. Kit Kit, remember Kit Kit? It's
Yeah,
fucking
that's a
Kit
funny
Kit.
story. Oh
It
my
was Kit
God.
Kit.
What did you do?
And of course I was like, what the? I couldn't believe it. It was just one of those things like, oh my God, did the cat just do that? Of course, I closed my robe and no one's around, just the kids and they're sleeping, whatever. But my immediate thought was to fucking call Mark and Brian because it still was
Oh,
morning. I may have even been listening to them and felt, I don't know. I
that's
just
funny.
remember I immediately called Mark and Brian and I told them the story. I sat on the phone. Wait, no lies. I totally forgot about that till just now. Sat on the phone waiting, and then they said, "I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to use it today." And then I don't think they ever mentioned it or anything, but I was like,
Yeah.
man,
That should have
like I
been
thought it was
like a
maybe they thought it
top
was
priority.
maybe
Maybe it
for
was
nine.
too weird.
It was too weird for. Hey, they talked about a girl who was dating a guy or whatever. I don't know, his husband, a guy, whatever. Her partner took a took a shit
Oh, in the cat
in the
box.
cat
I
box,
remember that
and
one.
then
Yeah.
she took it to the vet because she thought
Because she
something
thought
was
something was
wrong with
wrong with
it
it.
because it
Yeah.
was so big,
So big.
and that
I
was a
remember
big
that.
bit. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, really? That's cat shit? But I don't know. Maybe it was too risque.
Well,
But anyway,
breasts are just something society has a hard time handling. Breast milk, breastfeeding, and a cat licking someone's breast would just, people would be so freaked out by that. So, I, I mean,
you
people are
should.
freaked out if they think your kids are too old to breastfeed,
Oh
It's like,
God. Well, we'll get to that. Or right now. No. You want to talk about that now?
oh, I don't care.
Because that was another issue that I realized until your daughter and my daughter were breastfeeding. I'd never thought about it before because I'm like, well, I don't, it's not too long. Breastfeed as long as you want. But before they had kids, in between our kids and our kids having kids, there was that time when on the talk shows like the Ricky Lakes and all those type of Jenny Jones and those type of
Yeah.
talk shows, Sally, Jesse Raphael, they
Yeah.
would have people on there that kids are like 5 years old. Mommy, can I have a
Yeah.
drink? And then we were like, ew, so here we are. Oh, breastfeeding experts, but that's weird. And it took me a while to realize, you know what? It's their choice if they want to do that.
Yeah.
Do I think that's
It's
a
their
little,
life.
if they're asking for it, okay, that's a little strange, but really, it is their business if they want to do that. And the only thing is that it's setting the kids up for ridicule. I don't care if they do it at home, that's fine. But anyway, I realized, okay, I didn't know I was pregnant with my second. I was still breastfeeding my first. I got pregnant when I was 10, when my first was 10 months old. Because my kids are 18 months, 2 weeks, or 19 months, whatever.
Hmm.
So I knew when I finally found out, surprise, you're pregnant. And that's a whole long story, but I didn't know I was pregnant until like the fourth or almost fifth month with my son. And then I'm all, oh shit, I got to stop breastfeeding because you can't breastfeed two at once. Now, I
Yeah,
don't know if someone told me
that's
that.
true.
I don't know if I read a
I
book.
mean, twins do it.
Yeah. But she would have been 18 months when he was born, and she would have been
Yeah,
jealous, I guess. But I thought, but
yeah,
I could have done it. So when she was about, I think also it was just like, okay, about a year is enough. You know, we were told a year,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
enough. So I
That's
started weaning her off um, when she was like around 12, turning a year. And then I started weaning her off. But it wasn't just because I thought I should or I didn't want to. Um, it was just, yeah, it was kind of like society norms or whatever, but also for babysitting purposes because she would not
right.
take water or a bottle of my breast milk. So she was difficult to watch because nobody could
Yeah,
watch her past feeding time.
right.
So I'll never forget that our first interaction, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong or whatever, but McDonald's used to sell the little water cups when sport bottles first came out. McDonald's had a sport bottle, and the bottom of the sport bottle would unscrew so you could, like, it was mostly aimed at basketball players out on the court, at a
Right.
park. Put your car keys in the bottom of the bottle, or you could put ice in the bottom of the bottle and screw it back in, whatever. So I would put milk in that, and she would walk over to the thing, and I introduced it to her, and she'd reach down with her little arms out and squat down and drink out of that straw, which probably wasn't the safest. She could have tripped over, probably choked herself, but she bent down, drinked it, and then would run away and play. And that's kind of how I introduced her to the milk and all that. So I weaned her off of it, and then he was born basically a couple months later,
Yeah,
and then I was feeding him, which I talked briefly about it last time that um, he was in the NICU, so they gave him formula because I couldn't breastfeed him because he was in an
right.
incubator, and so I was upset because he would not breastfeed, and I finally got him to do it,
Yeah,
and then he could do both, so he was good because I could do both
yeah.
formula and breast, so that
He
was
was
good.
very well fed, that boy.
Oh my God,
He
he
looked like
had
a
rings.
sumo wrestler. He
He
looked like the
did.
Michelin Man.
He did with the rings around, but you'd never know
Yeah,
now because he's 6'4" and a
so
beanpole. But
skinny now. Yeah.
yeah, but
So
I think in that sense with the whole society with him too. Like when he turned about a year, I started weaning him off because I thought I was supposed to.
yeah.
So
Well, and that I think, some things, it's almost like we don't have a choice but to go by society's uh, rules or waves, ebbs and flows, because going to work, I mean, there's so many things, and different generations have different challenges as far as that goes,
yeah,
right? But I think overall, it's not so much, if you're breastfeeding too long, or if you're not, or if it's good for the kid or it's not. Those are discussions that there's so many different camps,
yeah.
and so many different rights
That
and
to me is
wrongs and all.
yeah, that's a personal choice
Problem,
to me.
yeah, I think so too. The problem I have is when people think, "Ew, that's gross," or I'm not afraid to say that. I'll say that straight out. Now, if someone just says, "I just wasn't comfortable doing it with my own child. I just wasn't comfortable doing that," okay, I'm not going to judge you.
Yeah, that's
That's
fine.
that's whatever you want to do.
Yeah, my
But if you're
first
looking
in-law,
at
that's
someone
fine. But
But if you're looking at someone else and saying, "Ew, that's gross. How could they do that?" To me, it's like,
that's
uh,
more insulting. Yeah.
and I think what has always bothered me is if you raise your boys to believe that that's gross, and you raise the boys to assume that there's only one thing those are for, and we know what that is. Yeah,
Sorry.
those are my toys. Then what happens when that boy grows up and gets married? There's going to be this, and I have been through that. With one of my
Uh-huh.
spouses, it was an issue. It was, they were jealous that I was spending that much time with the baby, and I wasn't interested in spending time with them. sexually. Well, that's normal. When you
Yeah.
have a child, your
But they
whole
don't
focus
believe
is
it.
on that child, and you don't want anything to do with sex at all. You know, intimacy, somebody sitting there rubbing your arm, you know, their arm around you while you're with the baby, that's awesome. But being mad because we're not interested in sex when we just had a baby, and now you're jealous of the baby's attention and that the baby gets to play with your toys.
Your toys.
You know,
Right.
I mean, and that's the problem with society. We've raised
Yeah.
boys to think that these are toys. And so there's this psychological thing that happens. Wait a minute, those are my toys. Why does that baby get to spend so much time with my toys?
Right.
And
Right.
so nobody wants to see it in the open. It's like, what are you know, come on.
Well, that's okay.
Are you crazy?
All right.
That's
wait.
what you're for.
Okay. So if we want to go into that, if we want to segue into that
What?
area, do you have that graphic from the book about that? About the aesthetics?
The one on the beach?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Okay, let's see here. I'm
Because
gonna
that one
share-
is gold, baby. Gold.
share,
Yes.
and I'm sharing. I think it.
I
is
hear you,
the-
Jason. You better wait out that timer, buddy. You want that Coke.
That one, no.
Better
it's not.
wait out that
Oh, yeah.
40-minute timer.
Okay, here we go. Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. Oh my gosh, it's one of the best.
Whoops. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I lost it.
Oh, your artwork.
Sorry.
What happened?
I need to do that. Wait a minute. Oh no. Okay, I'm messing everything up. Never mind. Let me close
You're,
that out.
you're
Let's
really
go back.
And
I would
folks,
have to go dig it up. I can put it back up right here so you can
That's
see the
fine.
real one. I'll do that with
Uh,
both of them.
I was gonna say, folks, she's really tech savvy, but she is also a boomer. No, or a boomer adjacent. No,
Well,
I'm
right now
kidding.
the problem, I'm distracted and I don't have my glasses on. So
I'm
I'm pushing the wrong buttons because I'm not able to
Sorry.
really see what I'm looking at.
I'm just messing with you.
And
I'm
I'm distracted
sure
by
he's totally distracting. I
my
think it's
6
funny, but it's not
one
funny when
baby over
you're.
there.
I know, Baby Huey. That's what I call him. He looks like Baby Huey, man.
No, he's actually
Very cool.
well, that's not another subject for another day. But,
Jason, I love you, but you need to chill, dude. And let your mom do her thing.
he said okay.
Okay, I love you, Jace.
All right. So yeah, that drawing is all about
Yes.
the reality of let's be okay with women wearing the French cut bikinis or a string bikini where there's hardly anything on her body, which I could care
A
less.
thong, yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
I don't care if people want to go naked. I could care
I don't
less.
care either.
But if it's okay for us in society to allow that, but you can't allow a woman to breastfeed,
Yeah,
what does that say about your society?
right.
And there
But
have
let's-
been towns that have outlawed public breastfeeding in the
I
past.
know, it's so stupid.
I mean,
Okay, but okay. Having said all that, I don't know when this happened. It could have been months ago, could have been a year ago, but I remember I was just searching through, I think I was showing my granddaughter from the very beginning pictures of her. I've got like 10,000 pictures of her. I'm not even joking, dude.
I'll bet.
It's 7 years. What the fuck?
yeah.
So I'm scrolling through and I come upon a video of us. So that was 7 years ago up in Humboldt area. We're at this shop. It's called Pie a la Mode, I think, or something. So it's like a pie shop, really cute. You know, everything's so artsy fartsy up there. It's awesome. It's
Right.
like Redlands. Arcata, California is a lot like Redlands. So we're in this
Right.
pie shop. It's got the roll up garage door and it's really cool, you know. So we're sitting there. And she just, pulls up her shirt and talking to her hippie friends and, and in the Ritz, the little thing. And it's like, I never thought I'd be bothered by it, but there was that little initial, you're showing your
Everybody
boobs.
can see you. Yeah.
But to be honest, like, I really didn't care. And at one point when your book came out and we discussed this, I'm like, okay, well, they shouldn't have to throw a blanket over themselves. You know, if you just lift your shirt up and it's like that, okay. But this girl's like, and some people are like, the baby comes off and then they're just all, hey, yeah, talking around, so at that time I was just like, looking around, is anybody watching? Nobody gave a shit. They're all young people.
Right.
So it's hard. It's like I was of the camp, well, you shouldn't have to cover up, but you shouldn't just display it for everybody to see your boob. But I thought,
Well,
really?
yeah, I think
Really?
that
Doesn't matter?
with what is the intention, and we could get into all that too, because Mike tells a story about his sister Darcy, who I went to school with, and Darcy, the minute someone told her, don't do that in public, or don't cover yourself up, or the minute somebody even dared to say that, it was on
Yeah.
for her. So
Oh,
then
yeah.
from that day on, with all of her kids, with both of her girls, she would just completely lift her top up, flip that bra down, and Darcy was stacked.
She was stacked.
Darcy's breasts were as big as my head. I mean, she was stacked. So when she did
She
that,
did not give a fuck.
there was no subtlety at all.
I loved her.
But
She was
didn't
gone too
care.
soon, man.
It's
Gone
like,
too
really?
soon.
Hey, you got a problem with this? I'm feeding my kid. This is what these are for, in case you're wondering. And I've always loved that story because it's
Yeah.
it's like she took the step more that I couldn't take. But I also know what you mean about let's be because if there are children walking by that have never experienced breastfeeding and they see that,
Oh, well, wait.
I don't know, but at the same
Okay.
time, maybe they should know.
But here's the thing, that's exactly the point.
Parents' reaction that's going to determine the kid's attitude toward women's breasts and sexuality and all of that.
Exactly. This is kind of a side note, but your reaction, because I'll tell you real quick, I didn't talk about this when we talk about what's going on in your week. We got into a fender bender. I didn't tell you about this. We were, my street because you used to live in this house. So when you're on Cornell about to turn on to Date, it's hard because it's very blind to see Date. So I had Jesse drive my car because I didn't want to switch the car seats. We got to go meet her dad, Daddy Bo, to do the exchange. I'm like, hey, I'm done babysitting, or basically I'm taking you to him.
Right.
And we're going to meet at Vaughn's. So Jesse's looking out and he starts inching, and then he stops because somebody's coming, and all next thing you know, you can feel the and there's a bump, and I'm off. I knew it was hard enough to do damage, but not hard enough. I had my head pressed all the way against like this so he could see. So I was pushed against here, so it still threw me. And my first instinct was, oh my God, Amelia's in the back seat. Oh, is she okay? So I go, hey, are you? But I didn't go, oh my God. Right. For a second, I go, what the? And I try not to cuss around her. And Jesse's like, oh, what? And I go, calm down. Just go talk to the person. And then I said, stay in your car seat. I'm going to go out. And I got to call Bo and tell him, we're going to be late. We just got in a fender bender. I knew it wasn't that serious.
Right.
I didn't even look at the damage. I didn't want to look at the lady. I had Jesse talk to her, and I'm on the phone with Bo, telling him what's happening, and I'm being calm. I'm looking at her through the window and saying, she's okay. Then everything's fine. They do the insurance exchange, get back in the car. Mm-hmm. My heart's going a mile a minute. Like, I've got the heart issues. It's fucking going. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. I am having some anxiety right now, but I had to be as calm as shit and go, okay, baby, did you feel any pain? And we're driving to Vaughn's because it was drivable. Yeah. Just it buckled, these cheap ass fiberglass pipe bumpers. Yeah. It just went like this. So Jesse pulled it so it went back like that, but it's got a big crack. So I'm like, okay. She goes, yeah, I did hit my hat. She was wearing a baseball hat, so I think she hit her little bit maybe. She was reading a book, so I think she hit her head on the book. And I'm like, okay, you're okay. But the rest of the time, when you dropped her at Vaughn's, we're going shopping, and my heart for the next hour, my blood pressure was up, my heart, but I kept it cool for her. Now, that's one way you can handle it is get crazy and upset and fucking hit my car, and then the kids are all, oh, we just got in a car accident. Oh, my God, and everybody's upset.
Now they will forever associate that reaction with that thing.
A car accident is the worst thing ever. A fender bender is the worst thing ever. Okay, so same thing with the breastfeeding. Sorry about that tangent, but the same thing. If you, every time someone's breastfeeding in front of your kid, says, "Oh God, look at them. That is so disgusting. They shouldn't be doing that in public." Like you said with the boys, they are putting that in their head.
Yeah,
Disgusting. Boobs are disgusting. Breastfeeding's disgusting. Breastfeeding
yeah.
in public's disgusting. And then they feel like, oh, my boobs are disgusting. And then they grow
How does
up.
that make your little girl feel?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, those are not to be looked at by anybody till you're
Those are
married on your
those are
wedding
for your
night.
husband to play with. That's all those are for.
I don't think they tell them
Or
that.
those are
But
for,
even
oh,
so,
those are to attract a husband. They're not for anything else.
okay, Cheryl, no dad, especially a Christian dad, is going to tell her daughter that those are for her husband to
Oh,
play
really?
with.
You don't think some of them are going to,
I
well, I know
hope
they
not.
want them to hide them, but how many moms
Oh,
are
maybe.
okay with them wearing push-up bras and low-cut tops or, trying to,
Well,
there are moms out there that push that as part of the way that as if there isn't enough of that goes on peer pressure wise. There are
that's
moms out
true.
there, we had them coming into the gym. There was
That's
one
true.
mom who allowed her senior daughter, her daughter in her senior year, I think it was like a graduation present or something, or a birthday present. Granted, maybe she was turning 18, I don't know. But it was like she allowed her to go get a breast enhancement.
Oh, I think I remember that. Okay, right. That's true.
I just
And
think,
see, now today, if I went to a restaurant and I saw a girl's boob, now, I mean, it's been 7 years since my granddaughter. I think it was more because it was my daughter. If I saw somebody else, I'd be like, oh, okay, I don't know what it was. Like, maybe it was just some kind of weird protective mode. But again, that was almost 10 years ago. So I
yeah,
think my thoughts were, even though I felt like I was progressive, I guess I had a line. And that day I was like, goo, that was my line. But I think I had to have that conversation with myself, like, get over it, fucking get over it, get over
it's,
it, you know.
okay, you need to calm down over
Excuse
there,
me.
or you will not get your Coke.
Thank you.
Ooh,
I told you you have to wait.
Jason.
Patient. If you're not going to be patient, then you won't get it at all, and you'll have waited for nothing. Okay, you sit there nicely. We're getting a little aggressive with our face over there.
Well, it's
Right.
the same as when Aunt Wendy comes over and he's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
hell no, this bitch again?
Yeah.
She's going to monopolize all my mom's time. And then they talk about shit that makes their voices
And
escalate
the
like
thing
they're
is,
yelling at people.
I've, we've spent most of the day. He got to go to the movies. He got to do a lot
It
of things
doesn't
today.
matter.
And the rest of the evening, tomorrow, Sunday,
Hey,
I'm all his for the next
uh-uh.
week because he's not going to see his dad till next weekend. So, I
He
don't feel
don't give a
guilty.
shit about that.
I don't,
He
I know,
can't predict the
I'm,
future.
I'm saying I don't feel guilty right now. This is my time with Wendy every Friday night. It's my time.
Yeah,
And
Jason.
he's going to
Every
have to
Friday
get
night.
it is the way it is.
Dang,
You're
Jason, you're cold,
32
dude.
years old. You can figure it out.
Be
Anyway.
a man, Jason. Be a man. I'm just kidding. Poor Jason. He doesn't know what to think. I don't think he's been around when we've done this, so
No.
he doesn't know
He's
what
never
the
seen
fuck
me
to
do
think
this.
about this.
It's just worse than her being on the phone because now I can even hear it.
I can hear it when he in her bitch ass voice. It's like cringe, just like nails on a chalkboard to me. Whatever, Jason. I'll remember
He
that.
does the same thing when Mike and I talk. He
Does
doesn't
he
want me talking to anybody.
Telling you, Oedipus complex, I'm telling you. He loves his mommy.
Oh, gross.
Nobody can have her. Nobody.
That's right.
Wait, do you think he loves you more than Diet Coke?
Oh no. Oh no. No. He loves Diet Coke more than anything in the
Oh,
world.
Jason, how could you? If you love it so much, why don't you marry it, Jason? Marry your Diet Coke. Just marry Diet Coke.
Oh my goodness. So
I
yeah,
love
I feel like I have always felt like, and I think I end the book this way, talking about how society, we could build a much better society if we were to go back to treating women. You don't have to treat them as a goddess, but go back to remembering why they're important in the process.
Fucking life givers.
We are life. We're life givers, life carriers, life bringers.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not all we're here for. And
Right.
you may not be able to have a baby, but you
Yeah.
certainly, if you love children, you can certainly learn how to be a
Of
good mom and a
course.
nurturer, right?
Wait. Okay.
That's something that a lot of us naturally enjoy doing. And it
Yeah.
just somehow comes with some of us naturally, right? Not everybody. And even those of us that it comes naturally, there are times in our life where we aren't the best. We aren't our best. You know, I have not been the best mom all these years. I have four.
Yeah.
I love all of them, and right now I would die for any one of them. You know,
Yep.
in whatever the
Yep.
situation is.
Take all
But
my
I've
organs.
always been a good mom. You know, there's
Yeah.
immaturity. There's mental illness. There's all kinds of things that
Yes.
come up
Yes.
that. But I digress. The point I was trying to make was, if society would go back to understanding how important that mom role is, and stop looking at a woman as a sexual object, and that
Yeah.
means don't hide her, don't tell her what she can and can't wear.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, because the only reason that we have that issue is because we've made it so taboo
Right.
that if you see somebody's nipple through a t-shirt, you're all, oh, I can see your nipple. Well, if a man's nipple you can see through a t-shirt, it doesn't affect you that way. So what's the difference? You know what I'm saying?
Some girls are my no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm just saying, a
I know
man
what you mean,
shirtless on the beach, there is not the same reaction as a woman shirtless on the beach. And that's
Right.
silly.
Ooh.
My point is that that's just dumb.
Okay, so I know this doesn't necessarily have to do with the breastfeeding, but breasts in and of themselves, I always used to think, because I did have uterine cancer, I didn't have breast cancer. And so, yeah, they took hysterectomy, it's all gone, and I'm good, no chemo and all that. I was very thankful, very, very lucky. But, in those because we had a cousin who had breast cancer, and she didn't die of the cancer, but she died of complications from it and all that. And I always thought, how would I feel if that was me? Because I did go through a little bit of that. And if I had to lose my breast, and I thought, I'd be okay. Just like my hair. If I got bald, whatever, it's just hair. But I had to take a step back and go, some people, that's mortifying to them. I couldn't understand that at the time. Like, well,
Yeah.
so your hair doesn't make a woman, which that's a whole other subject for another day, because I got not into it, but some coworkers who are into hair because it's their culture. And I'm like, oh shit, I guess I touched a nerve, and we talked about it. But it was like, it's just hair, it grows back. But I had to really look at it myself. Some people, their breasts are everything to them as a woman, or their hair. And I didn't realize that. For me, it wasn't. And that's okay.
Well, and you just made me think about something. I've made it sound through this podcast like women should not, like I'm shaming women who want to change, if they want to enlarge their breasts, or if they want to, show off their breasts or whatever.
Yeah.
And I apologize if it came off sounding like that. I don't have a problem with
Not at all.
that, because I know, there's so many layers to our body image,
Yes.
so many layers
Yes.
to how and why and what we feel and all of that. And I understand that men and women both have this issue
Right.
with body image, right? So it's not, I think my issue is our young people should not be raised to believe that that's all the woman's body should be about.
Right.
It should not be so sexualized that it's not,
Right.
it's like they can't carry both thoughts. She's sexy and beautiful, I really am attracted to her, and they can't carry the same thought, wow, I wonder what it'd be like to have children and have her breastfeed our baby. No man's ever going to think that, right? Picture you in a rocking chair breastfeeding their baby. They're going to picture when that baby is old enough that then they can go back and make another one. That's what's in their head most of the time. So what I'm saying is, let's make sure that our sons and daughters grow up with a healthy, understanding of their own bodies, and the honest reasons for the parts we have, instead of making it so weird and taboo. We've made it too weird.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, but that's what I was going to say is I realized my own vanity in that I want to lose weight. I was a nearly B when I got pregnant. Nearly B. These are pushing D's right now, and these are fat boobs. These aren't boobs that I was gifted with. These are boobs that I put on like 50. I put on I weigh the same right now as when I brought my son home from the hospital. That's how much I weigh, and I'm trying to work on it right now. But my thought was, I want to ask my doctor about getting a breast reduction because my things are like pointed down here. And I'm like, I'm looking up on the rabbit hole, like, what qualifies for insurance to cover a breast reduction? But here's my vanity. If I reduce the breasts, the rest of me is still big, and that's going to look weird. So that's my thought process. Like, I can't get a breast reduction, because they probably would tell you, you know what, why don't you lose the weight first and then we'll see if you can get a breast reduction. And that's fair. But I'm just saying, even I had to think, ooh, I don't want to get a breast reduction if it's going to make me look like small boobs and a big stomach, you know.
You know, I have issues. I have issues with how I look. We all have body issues.
Oh, yeah.
We all have hang-ups about things we don't like about our looks, or, you know, so there's no shame in any of that. The shame is in teaching our children those things.
Yes.
If
we need to watch what we say. Yeah.
Yeah. If we emphasize it so much that then our kids are ashamed of parts of their body, that's where we go wrong.
Right.
Let them develop their own shame on their own time.
Let them figure it out on their own.
Well, don't feed it to them.
We know people. There's people in our lives that have had breast augmentation, and again, I don't have a problem with it. The only people I have a problem with it, within friends or family or anybody in my circle, is that I know these people have a total dysmorphia problem with their body. Either they've had struggled with untreated anorexia, which I know they have anorexia, but they've never been treated for it, or an eating disorder, or a mental illness that they refuse to address, or whatever. That body dysmorphia. If you've not addressed it, I do take issue with that, because you're now putting it on your daughters and your granddaughters that, you know,
a Band-Aid on your issue.
Right. And that's with, and that can go into all the different facelifts and everything, any kind of plastic surgery.
Into hair cutting and coloring my hair for years, you know.
Assholes.
So, and again, it's not just about the breastfeeding. It's about the attitude toward women, where that there's that you know, this is a terrible pun, and I don't mean it as a pun, but it's the perfect word. Titillation.
I want to hear the pun. I want to hear the pun.
Titillation.
Oh, titillation.
You know, when people look at, push stop. The alarm's going off.
Oh no, the timer, Cheryl. You promised.
Push stop.
You better go get his Diet Coke.
Okay, I'm going to go get his Coke.
But
the titillation is what bothers me. You know, that, and think if all of us just were, if we were like some other countries where cultures all dress with no tops, we wouldn't have any of this problem. There would be no discussion at all, because everybody goes around without tops.
Yeah.
But somehow, for our culture, our society, that's a big no-no. And that bothers me. Not because I necessarily want to go around without a top, because, of course, I'm enculturated.
But I defend your right to do it.
I'm comfortable with that. But why are we so caught up on that? Why are we so hung up on that? How is that anybody's business if we decide to go without a shirt? We should not be getting in trouble for that.
You already said it. Because people raise their kids, or they have a preconceived notion of what they're for. Those were for Adam and Cain and Abel, apparently. but but not for the world, Cheryl. Not for certainly not
Can't
for that
share them.
snake. Certainly not for that snake. Like that cat that tried to suckle my teat. That snake could have tried to suckle her teat, old Eve's
Boy.
teat. Oh, back to the lizard people sucking
We're
teats.
back to the
Lizards don't
lizard
suck
people.
teats.
I wish I had a
Snakes and
quick.
lizards don't suck teats.
I wish I had a quick version of my Eve's Crossing painting to pull up with the
Hey,
snake in her face.
hey, maybe that was Eve and one of her babies. Maybe she's a
Oh,
lizard person.
hold up. That is our grandma's not right. That is the picture that's on our title page.
Oh yeah,
It's that Eve picture. Want me to pull it up? Huh?
Do it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. You know, it all boils down to how kids are raised, how people are raised to think what they think. We want to blame
Yes.
society and we want to blame the government and
Right.
anybody else. It's all individual. How you raise your own of an individual kid is how they're
Yes.
going to think of the human body. If you raise them to think it's taboo and disgusting, and again, I'm not saying people who have been SA'd, sexually aid, whatever you want to, I don't want to
Right.
say the
Right.
wrong words. People who have been accosted by somebody, they may, because that has happened to somebody in our family, and then that influence to that,
Yeah.
those kids are, the body is shameful, shameful. I don't want you to
Yes.
see my body because I don't like anybody see my body.
Right.
And I mean, but then you have the parents who are like, I'm out there, look at me, here's my bra, well,
Yeah.
okay, there's got to be a balance. Like, you can't go one extreme or the other. You got to have the kids comfortable with their bodies. If
Yeah.
you make the kids feel like a body is disgusting, well, what do you think's going to happen if it's the body is an expression of art? Those kids will be comfortable. So you just have to find that balance.
Well, and I think if you're honest with your kids about what your body parts are for, and not
Right.
be ashamed of your body parts. I guess
Yeah.
that's my main thing. Don't be ashamed
Yeah.
of your body parts. And if you if your child needs a reason why they can't go out without a shirt when they're 13, you just say because in our society, some people feel that girls should be covered up. I don't know. I don't know what the right way to say it is to your kids, but
No.
I didn't want my kids to ever feel ashamed of their bodies,
Right.
or
Can I tell you? I just struck me. I was reading my Apple News. I think it was actually this morning or yesterday, and they were talking about, of course, Americans mostly, people who go to other countries and dress immodestly when they
yes,
shouldn't. Now, I
yes,
was shocked because they said Europe, people dressing with skirts above the knee or shorts and then showing their arms. I'm like, okay, that's a stretch because I guarantee in England there are British people who wear tank tops and shorts, women. I
yeah.
mean,
I think it might be more other places in
right.
Europe,
But so that was a stretch to me, but it's true. If I go to a Muslim country and I know the women are covered up, of course I would do what they want because
yeah,
I'm not going to
culturally.
want to stand out.
Right, exactly, and that's just being respectful of other people's
Of
cultures.
course.
But
That's
in
not
our
the time to
country,
take a stand in someone else's country.
well, even in our own country, I think that's just like, even if you take smoking, for example, if somebody wants to smoke, I'm not going to say you can't smoke. But if
Yeah.
you're going to be smoking in an area where I have to breathe it in, it's not fair to me because
Exactly.
I have allergies to tobacco. So it's,
Yeah.
it causes me days of problems if I
Right.
breathe in a lot of tobacco.
Yeah.
So in that case, it's not fair. So it's like being if somebody is offended by seeing a bare-chested woman or they don't want their kids to see it, I understand them wanting, people to be respectful to them. But I'm just thinking overall,
Right.
it should never have become that way.
Yeah.
We should never have gotten to that point in our society.
That's exactly what this whole thing, this whole
Yeah.
podcast has been about, is that you you need to decide where you're at. Are you the side that you think boobs are sexual, or boobs are they feed a baby?
Right.
And if you say they can be both, then I think that's more of a healthy attitude. You're like, well, they could be both, and I can separate the two. But if you can't separate the two, that's on you. That's a you problem, and you need to get help for that.
Yeah.
If you cannot separate the two,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you, if you have a hard
Yeah, I
time
understand that.
understanding that, ugh, I don't want to see my baby. Because there are men I've heard, I can't watch them breastfeed. I can't watch them breastfeed. It's like, then you have a problem, dude. You need
Yes.
to get some therapy.
Yes.
If it grosses you out that your kid is sucking on your wife's boob, you got a problem. I'm sorry. I'll die on that hill, Cheryl. I will die on that hill that if you
Well,
have a
I'll
problem
tell you
watching
what.
your wife breastfeed, you need
Yeah.
help.
I agree. See, I had the issue with me was when they did get their hands on their toys, they wanted to try it out.
Ew, no.
Talk about ew.
No. Okay. Can I say
And-
one thing? Okay,
And
go ahead.
I learned how to squirt them. I could pull on them like a cow and squirt them in
Yeah.
the face. That was fun.
Okay. I won't say who it was. I will not say who it was on here.
Okay.
But I will tell you that somebody thought that it came out. Somebody thought that it came out like one hole, like a bottle. Like the boob had one hole.
Oh, like there was just one hole, like
One
a
hole.
baby's bottle. So when you squirted it and it went like
They
Five
didn't
streams.
right. They didn't believe it, and I said it's not one hole. It's like 5 or more and I had to prove that. And it was kind of funny because it was like, whoa.
whoa,
But I'll tell you
It's
off
like
camera
it's
who it
like-
was.
it's like a sprayer.
They thought it was one hole, and we didn't even get to
It's
talk
like,
about
haven't
when
you ever seen a cow milked or milked a cow? I guess they've
Not
never milked a cow, but have you ever seen a cow milked?
But
Because
no. But Cheryl, when someone milks a cow, the stream is heavy and it goes into the bucket with the
so it looks
sound.
like one stream.
It
Okay,
looks like one. So for a man,
yeah. Okay,
they might
I
think
gotcha.
that. By the way, we didn't even get the chance to talk about breast. We need to do a 2-parter. We didn't talk about breast pads and square boobs
Oh,
and all
yeah,
that
and-
stuff.
oh,
Come
there's so
on,
many.
man. Square
Okay.
boobs.
I guess we're gonna have a part 2 about how to manage breastfeeding.
Part 2.
Part 2.
And
Well,
check out the book. I have a breast and I know how to use it.
Nope. Title change. It's now
Oh,
bottle or breast. Only mom knows best.
say it one more time.
Bottle or breast. Only mom knows best.
You want to try that again?
Bottle or breast. Only mom knows best. On
By
Amazon.
Cheryl Hunter.
Cheryl and Hunter.
And you can find that on?
Amazon.
Yes. Hey, you should have your daughter do the Audible for that, man.
For that one?
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
I don't.
Ah, you want me to do it? No, I'm just kidding.
I would probably do it. That would be funny. All right. Well,
All right.
my son is calling me. He needs help with something.
I know, but he did wait his timer out.
He did
pretty
wait his
good.
time, so I really do have to honor that, and so I need to
Yes.
get going.
Okay.
But we appreciate you being along for this discussion, and
Yes,
next
about boobs.
yes, next week will be part 2. I think we need to talk about the all of the practical stuff
Yes.
that goes along with it,
There's
the
so
funny
much
stories.
more.
Funny
All right.
stories that aren't so cynical. Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about
Okay.
more pleasant. We're cynical bitches, but we'll try.
We could talk about leaking and the advantages of when you really fill out your dress. We'll talk about things like that.
We definitely will.
All right. Well, thanks for joining
Thank you,
us,
everyone.
and we will see you on the next one.
All right,
Bye-bye.
of Grandma's Not Right.
Grandma's not
Like
right.
and subscribe.
Yes, please. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.